But hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever so be it that you are across this beautiful nation. Um, Again, my name is April Laster. I'm the CEO and founder of Open Heart Leaders. And we are going to talk about some self-care and mental health wellness today. And so I prepared a quick little slideshow that'll kind of help lead and guide me along as I speak to you guys about some mental health and self-care. And so we're going to go ahead and kick it off as I learn. So a little bit about us, Open Heart Leaders. We are and I'm just going to talk while some of you may want to read. I just use it for bullet points or guidance, but Open Heart Leaders is the only African-American female-led organization that offers full mental health wraparound services and now full educational wraparound services in San Diego County. A lot of times people say, well, what is that? What is full mental health wraparound services and what is full educational wraparound services? So here's the breakdown. Full mental health wraparound services just means you take a collective of services that help to heal and restore an individually as a whole. So oftentimes when people come into any type of mental health facility, they're usually getting one aspect of the healing. They're either getting the counseling, they're getting the resources, they're getting the coaching, or they may be getting the mediation. What Open Heart Leaders has done is we created a program curriculum that offers all of those services to help embody creating a whole person in a one-stop shop. A lot of people don't like to do so many components that deal with mental health in one specific element because of the time frame, the training, the staffing, the everything that it takes to have all those things in the place. But I got the vision of Open Heart Leader in 2003 while I was a junior at Alabama A&M University, go Bulldogs, at a historically Black college and university out of Normal, Alabama, or Huntsville, Alabama, for those that don't know, Normal, Alabama. And it originally started off with the educational component. We had a less fortunate school that was getting ready to shut down in Huntsville, Alabama. And the reason it was shutting down was because the actual numbers were so low for the testing scores in those students that the state or government, whoever the powers that be, did not want to continue to fund that school that was in a predominantly urban area, which, as we know, AKA the Black area. I felt that it was an injustice to bus out kids to irregular areas where they would face more hardship in just being Black every day than they would get to focus on education. So presented it to a few professors at school and some other people who were education majors and psych majors and human development and family study majors, social work. And I was a mass comm major, a minor in business management. Presented it to them and said, well, what does it look like if we just go and tutor these kids and help them get their grades up? So we formed a team that kind of led way through my church, Madison Mission at that time in Huntsville. And there was a team of about, I'd say probably anywhere between like 22 and 35 of us. And a collective of community people and as well as people from the school. And we would go in the communities and basically do what's considered, how some churches say, outreach. But basically what we do is we canvassed these particular areas and found the people that would be able to utilize this tutoring program and to see if we could raise the numbers. When doing that, we successfully raised the numbers for that school by a little over 83%. Not only were we able to save that school, we were able to allocate additional funding to bring about the right types of teachers for the students to be able to continue to excel in education. So with that being said, how the educational component comes into Open Heart Leaders now, well, here we are in a national pandemic. And in this national pandemic, the schools were not prepared for this wave of chaos that hit us so fast in pertaining to the educational system and our kids. Partnering with a good colleague, Dr. B.R.I.D.G.E, who is an educational psychologist. People call us unicorns because they say that we're one of a kind. There's only one of us in these particular lanes. So I paired with this other unicorn, as I like to say, and we began to develop and talk about some of the disparities that we're noticing that are happening in the marginalized and urban communities regarding education. And thereabout came the CRESH program, the Community Resource Educational Support Team. This came with a historical event, as Open Heart Leaders is the first nonprofit organization to partner with a major university, Alliant International University School of Education, to credential its students out of a nonprofit. How awesome is that? That took 9 months of hard work, presentations, advocating, and I already mentioned I'm a comm major, so I did a lot of talking, but I was able to get them to see the bigger picture, why we need more mass or larger organizations or institutions to partner with smaller ones to build and bridge that gap of the necessities that are needed in our urban and marginalized communities. And so that is a little bit about Open Heart Leaders and where we are, and I'll kind of go in to the next slide and we will see. So how does Open Heart Leaders, the breakdown? Open Heart Leaders is broken into 4 sectors. There's the life, and all the life programs are centered around mental health advocacy, community service, social services, and health and public safety. There is the reform sector, which are programs and services centered around reentry, rehabilitation, restorative practice, and reconciliation through advocacy for incarcerated, families of those incarcerated, and our formerly incarcerated population. Then there is the OHL build sector, which are programs and services centered around leadership and development. So that is more so, and I'm sorry, I didn't break down through the life program. There are things like the life coaching, the mediation, the counseling, the mentoring program, our interactive discussions. Through reform, we have the Open Heart Leaders Reentry Initiative Take Charge program, which is a program that consists of teaching the basic life skill courses to those who are newly released from prison or jail, or transitioning through halfway homes or rehabilitation centers. Through our B.R.I.D.G.E program, which is centered around leadership and development, that's our training component, our workshops, and our forums. And then last but definitely not least, our OHL Educate sector, which is programs and services centered around easy access to advanced educational resources. And the reason I say easy access is because we all have been involved in systems where there just seems to be a lot of red tape for our clients to receive the resources and necessities they need to just survive off of basic necessities. So the reason I said easy access, because we have also secured partnership with Continued Education through Youth Build, so that those who are seeking to obtain their high school diploma that are a little over the age realm of 24 are still able to do that through the Youth Build program. We also have our specific language courses, which is through the Educate sector, which we teach always 3 major languages through OHL, which is American Sign Language, Spanish, and English as a second language. And then last but not least, of course, the CREST program, which involves the academic support, socioeconomic support, as well as case management. And this is done through our doctoral students who are seeking to become educational psychologists, those students those master students who are seeking to become school counselors. This is for our student teachers who are single, who are doing single subject or cross subject, and as well as our special education teachers, those who are in school. All these different students are able to work within our CREST program and secure what we call educational wraparound service, where they can properly assess our students in marginalized and urban areas, provide case management and support for the parents, and be kind of like the liaison between their different educational institutions. So we're very happy and excited about this program. And that pretty much sums up Open Heart Leaders as a whole, and how all these different sectors create and build what we consider mental health and educational wraparound services. So now that we covered the basics, let's get into it with this presentation, and let's get real about self-care and mental health. So I had to go through the whole, proper, and this. So now we're gonna get to the nitty gritty. I hope everybody's ready, because it may go a little fast or it may go a little slow. And if I do go fast, just put up a thumbs and I'll slow down. If I go too slow, put a thumbs down and I'll speed up. Helps me out. All right, so what is wellness? What is mental health and wellness and self-care? Mental health and self-care is defined as caring for yourself, meaning maintaining your health mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. These are the basic components that we speak of when we speak about OHL, creating a whole person from a healthy standpoint. Mentally, if your mental's not okay, guess what? The odds are your physical is probably not okay. If your physical is not okay, the odds are your emotional's taking a hit. If your emotional's taking a hit, the odds are you're probably going to be struggling in the spiritual area. And if you're struggling in the spiritual area, the odds are you're not getting up to go to work because your emotional, your physical, and your mental wasn't okay. So your finances done took a hit. Makes sense, huh? So if one of those components is out of place, I just went through a simple, quick kind of connect the dots of how if one is out of place, everything's out of place. Many people tend to think that this is a common sense. However, in times of crisis, financial health, divorce, loss of job, or currently a worldwide pandemic such as COVID-19, one of these 5 key elements to being healthy and whole is usually the first thing people tend to let slide. So just being realistic, during the pandemic, I've heard more people say that they have lost control of their diet than anything. Since the pandemic, we have a lot of emotional eaters out there, because what they've had time to do is sit at home with their little busy minds themselves, and they create these scenarios in their heads, and they create these situations in their head. And then guess what? That bag of Doritos really looks good right now in my misery, so I'm gonna grab them Doritos. And then you can't have Doritos without the Coke. So it's like, I'm gonna just grab the Coke. I'm gonna drink half of it, not the whole, just half, right? And then it's like, oh, I got a sweet tooth, because sweet salty is always good, right? Especially for us ladies, when it's that time of the month, we want sweet and salty at the same time. Like, give me the honey bun and the salt and vinegar chips, and I'm about to tear it up, right? So imagine if you have more time to do this every day. How often are we just grabbing the bag of Doritos and half of the Coke? Half of the Coke turns to whole Coke, because you're like, I can't just really drink half. Now I'm parched because I ate all the salt, right? Well, maybe if I just wash it down with a Danish or some See's candy, it'll be okay, because now I feel a little better, right? We eat when we're happy. We eat when we're sad. We eat when you're angry. I eat when you're sad. I eat when she broke up with her boyfriend. I'm gonna take a sip of this Coke when he arguing with his girlfriend. Like, we just make food the common denominator for every emotion that we feel, right? So imagine how that may look when we come out of this pandemic. How many people are going to still be beach body fine? Because I know I'm aiming to be beach body fine. And when I say beach body fine, I don't think I wore a 2-piece since I was about 9. And I'm trying to aim to, get to that again. We'll see how it works. I don't know. But self-care is extremely important to an individual's health, especially in a society that prioritizes productivity and working hard. One of the main, look at, I had to adjust myself in the seat because that'll tickle me wrong. I have never seen so many people in panic mode for the sake of the whole world was in a national pandemic, and you still had some employers who were insensitive to the idea that I may not be able to come to work today because I have no babysitter. I can't leave my disabled parent or person that I take care of at home. I'm 7 months pregnant, and right now I can't even get to the doctor, and something's not feeling right. Or simply, shoot, I got cramps today. I don't want to come in. It's rough out here. Or we're in sunny San Diego, so we don't have a whole snow ordeal. But imagine those people who were on the East Coast. It's snowing. I can't get out and go get supplies because all the stores are closed and boarded up. So you had all these different waves of situations that could occur at one time. We saw the world in panic mode. I never in my life went to a store and not been able to buy basic bare necessities that are needed in my home. Tissue, paper towel, you couldn't even get wet wipes. I felt bad for those who do have babies because I said, Lord, what are they wiping the baby's bottoms with? Because everything was gone. Look at how the world shows up for each other in the midst of chaos. We still go into our selfish corners. And not only now are we not thinking of self-care and mental health, we don't care about everybody else's self-care and mental health because it's about me, right? And then, not to be political, we had a special person that lived in this like big white house. I think the house was white. It had a lot of grass and stuff around it. But that person particularly was selfish as well. So it was I, and me. So when you have leadership that displays that type of behavior, imagine what the world's going to display, right? We got a bunch of 5-year-old, 70-something-year-old men and women running around saying I, and me, right? So we created this sense of entitlement, right? We're going to hold on to that word and we're going to revisit it a little later. That entitlement set in so deep that, ooh, it gave me a headache. I'm not going to lie. I had to turn the TV off sometimes because this person that lived in this white house that had a lot of grass around it in a rose garden that his wife butchered, it was wrong, right? Feeling overwhelmed and burnt out is a common thing, which can lead to significant health consequences, poor judgment, lack of energy, and even to the extreme, in some cases, death. Some people say, oh, that done worked me to death. Well, unfortunately, some people actually were worked to death, right? Think about those who were still required to go to work during this pandemic. I think about the bus driver who still had to go and drive the bus and ended up getting coughed on. And I think it was not even 48 hours later or something to that extent, he died of COVID because his body was already battling something he didn't even know that he was battling. So literally, feeling overwhelmed and burnt out and doing that in extreme cases can lead to death when we live in a society that puts prioritizes productivity and working hard over your mental health and your self-care. All right, so the lack of time is one of the biggest issues people face when trying to participate in self-care and mental health. Whether you have 30 minutes or 5 minutes, that's okay. The key is to participate in self-care intentionally and consistently in order to maximize the impact you have on your life. So let me break that down in layman's terms. Get somewhere and sit your butt down for 5 to 10 minutes and just breathe. I think I broke it down as basic as I sit down somewhere, right? Shut up, phone off, tell them kids, go in that room, close that door, and be quiet. It's reading time. Give them a book, tell them it's time. Tell your husband, go get on that game you've been trying to get on all day, right? And I promise you, you will feel better. You just need that moment to recenter yourself, slow your brain down so it can catch up with your heart, and you can effectively process what is in the heart to the mind so you're making sound and better decisions, right? So lack of time. Everybody's on a different time clock. How quick Miss Elizabeth may want it done is not the same as Melissa gonna want it done, or Carmela. So everybody's Carmela saying, look, I need it right now. Elizabeth saying, look, get it to me in like 10, 15, I'm good. Melissa saying, shoot, if you kick it to me tomorrow, I'm gonna be all right, right? And then you got somebody like me who comes along and I'm like, well, what we doing? Who doing something? Right? I'm just stuck. I ain't got no time. I'm just like, well, I'm here, right? Give yourself the time to process your effective thoughts. Give yourself the time to process your daily agendas. Give yourself time to breathe. That is the easiest component of life, to just sit and take a breath. But yet, we treat it as if it is a rush and we're on a time schedule, right? Another thing that causes in regards to self-care, some of the common things, self-care and mental health, is lack of money. Now, I have never in my living seen so many broke rich people. And let me tell you what I mean. When the world is functioning at full capacity, everybody broke. Oh, girl, I can't go to the store and I can't eat them crab legs. Girl, I'm broke. I can't do this. I can't do that. The moment this pandemic hit, I said, hi, everybody stocking their refrigerator and their cabinets. I thought we was broke. Aha, I figured it out. Oh, y'all not paying y'all rent. Hey, wish I had the luxury to do that. Unfortunately, I'm considered an essential worker, and the pandemic actually increased my clientele rather than decreased my clientele. So when you're not paying your rent, yeah, that's gonna add a mortgage. That's gonna add a few extra thousands in the bank. And now all of a sudden, the steaks and the crab legs and the shrimp and the rotisserie chicken, that's looking mighty tasty. But I also see that the lack of money has caused people to make poor decisions and judgments regarding their lifestyles at this time. The suicide rate increased by approximately, and don't quote me, I'm going to be just based off of memory and looking at some of my reports. I want to say those between the ages of 12 to 19, approximately anywhere between 63 and 70%. And when I say suicide rate, I'm including attempted suicide versus those that actually followed through. So that is a collective of those. Y'all don't even want to know the numbers of what it was for 19 and above. Let's just say America is hurting and not every death was COVID related. This pandemic caused a lot of people to really center and evaluate where they are in life. If you thought you was broke when the world was at full capacity, how broke are you for those who really could not afford to go to the grocery store? And how broke or how, how much mental anguish is it for those who, when you close down the stores or their means of living? I'm a server or I work in a restaurant, and when you close that down at 100%, you've now cut off my lifeline. I have no funneled resources coming in the house. Now I have nothing to do but sit here with my thoughts. And now I have nothing to do but to realize maybe I don't want to be here anymore, because now I can't pay rent, I can't eat, I can't feed the kids, I can't get gas, I can't even keep the lights on. Self-care does not have to cost a thing or even require you to leave your home. Something beneficial during this pandemic with the current social distancing restrictions in place. I have to say that because this pandemic had an opposite effect as well. Through this pandemic, we have generated more entrepreneurs and new business owners by simply giving them the time to execute and operate in their heart's goals and dreams. I found that to be one of the most beautiful things in this tragic pandemic. It allowed people the time to manifest their dreams and their goals without feeling pressured and without feeling ashamed to do it. Additional common issues people face regarding self-care and mental health. Individuals run into problems when they try to self-care method they've learned from a friend or read about on the internet, and it doesn't bring immediate relief. One thing about us Americans, we are right now type of country. Right now type of country. Not later, not next week, not tomorrow. Right now. Where my stimulus check? Right now. Where the next stimulus check? Right now. Where my tax return? Right now. Right? We are that type of society. So what happens is individuals get these, these advice and these methods from people who have not studied or trained to give this type of leeway, or they're not qualified to speak into your life at that capacity. You get with them and you get their methods, and the moment it doesn't work, you now set unrealistic expectations for yourself that you won't meet and that you won't obtain, and now you just added another emotional battle to your cry list. No, you're not going to lose 20 pounds in 4 days. I don't care what they say on Instagram. It ain't going to happen. And if it happens, I need to meet your surgeon, because that is the only way that you're going to lose that 20 pounds in 4 days. There is no tea on this earth that is going to completely wipe out your intestines in 1 cup in the morning. It may help with the bloating because it may decrease the gas and the extra air that you've allowed in your stomach from eating all the processed food. But you're not finna. I'm gonna get off that soapbox, because that'll take me through the whole rest of the slide, and then we done went on weight loss. You hear what I'm saying? Self-care is different for everyone. That's the point I'm making. Some self-care methods like mediation take time to learn to be effective. Yoga is not for everybody. I'm gonna say that because I'm a thick girl and yoga is not for me. I can't stretch, move, bend, and do all of that. But sitting on my floor with my legs stretched out as I touch my toes every few seconds, like my trainer taught me, and taking deep breaths, that works for me. Or standing up and then trying to touch the floor as far as I can, putting my palms to the floor while I stand up straight. That stretches my back and it does something to the glutes. I don't know, my butt been looking a little better since that, so I'm gonna keep doing them stretches, and we gonna see how the beach body turn out with them stretches. But that works for me, right? Some people have to sit with sound machines. Some people, let me show y'all. Y'all can't see it. I'm not gonna turn to my whole house. But I get these candles, right? I love them. And I could just light candles all day in the house. So what I did was, unfortunately, my Amazon account increased since the pandemic. But I bought the plate warmers. You know how you could get the candle warmer or the little plate warmers? So I got that hack off of Instagram. I watched the lady and she said, during the pandemic, I have not burned one candle, but my candles are lit in the house. And I was like, that's dumb. Well, what, she got a little light under it or something? She bought the warmers. You sit the candle on it, it melts the whole candle. My whole house just, I'm like, yes. And the candle lasts longer. So y'all know
it's good. Fire hazard. No fire hazard.
No fire hazard. Elizabeth, I done left this thing on accident and left the house and came back like, oh my goodness. Thank God it was not a fire and it's just a plate, and the plate ain't moving unless it's an earthquake. Lord, it would be just my luck. An earthquake, and then it knock over and then it hit my TV stand, and then the TV stand wouldn't. But we're going to get off that soapbox too. But yes, that works. And it actually saves me money. I'm a little sad because I'm not going to be able to hit up my Bath and Body Works like I normally do. But now I've found a new love for soap, so I still catch all the deals. Practice makes perfect. I have mastered making stuffed jalapenos. during this pandemic, and that is one of my favorite things. But I made it the healthy way using fresh jalapenos and the different cheeses, the cream cheese, the onions, chives, cheddar. You put it in the oven, 425. Boom. Amazing. Amazing. Right? Consistency is key. If I wasn't consistent with trying to get this recipe to a T, then I would have probably given up a little earlier than I should. And then I would have continued giving Wiener Schnitzel for them dry little jalapeno poppers all my money when I could go to the store and spend approximately $11.17 to get all my ingredients and make even fatter, bigger jalapeno poppers that are homemade and way healthier, according to my trainer. Not so much the cream cheese and cheese, but you know, we keep doing them stretches. I still be Beachbody fine. Some individuals and people have pre-existing mental illness, and they may find it harder to participate in self-care, especially during this pandemic. Let's chat about that for a second. I had to put next slide for myself because you know how you do so many slides and you forget you put your own information. So that's why you guys see next slide. I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. So people who have pre-existing issues with their mental health are at a greater risk of experiencing worse symptoms due to COVID-19. Mental health conditions are isolating in nature. Creating a wellness plan is so amazing. And I have to teach somebody else how to do that one day. But creating a wellness plan during this time can help drastically. One additional major key is if you are a person that relies on medication for your mental health, make sure that you have enough medication on hand. Because at any time they decide to shut the world down again, what we do not want is a bunch of beautiful and creative and illustrious minds left alone to wander in their own beautiful worlds inside their heads. And if you guys ever get a chance to talk to me outside, you will always know that I am very, very cautious at the way I explain mental health and mental illness. I don't speak of it as a plague or as an evil little thing. I speak of it as a difference that some of us struggle with, that we just need a little bit of assistance on the back end. Medication is assistance on the back end. Here's a stigma I need to kill right now. Most people say, well, you got a mental illness, you got to get on all these hard medications. They do that to have you addicted and do that. Okay, there may be some truth to that. But the reality is medication is used for those who have a chemical off balance, which means there are chemicals in our bodies that help our brains release and have these different neurons and things like that and all the energy. I'm not a neurologist, but you know, I read a little bit in college, just a little bit for it, just a little bit I remember, but it actually helps balance and it actually helps refocus the chemicals in our body that allows us to be balanced. So here's a catch. If you guys have small children, whoever's listening out there in this little virtual world, this little green dot I'm looking at in my camera, if you see me and you hear me good. Stop giving your babies all the cereal with the different dyes, especially the red and the yellow dye. Those dyes are high in, I'm not a medical doctor either, and I'm not going to try to say it. Just read the back of the box. But it's high in something that ain't good for your babies. And when you notice that you give specific kids a specific type of cereals, they go haywire. But why are you so out of control? Why are you so hyper? Why are you so... It's not... And people try to say, they're just kids. No, you just basically ignited a chemical in your babies that is equivalent to giving a crackhead a hit of crack, or giving a caffeine addict a taste of that caffeine, or giving a heroin addict that first shot where they're going to get that rush of high. And then when they come down, they come down. That's why you wonder when your kids is tired and beat down, they falling asleep at the table, they falling asleep in the high chair, they on the halfway on the arm of the couch and halfway off, they on the dog. They just done passed out wherever they little heart told them, look, lay down, we tired, we crashed. Be mindful of the chemicals and the foods that you're giving yourself and your babies, because it is equivalent to a drug, a hit. Same for those who are under medical care by a licensed psychiatrist or doctor that is issuing medication. Number one rule of thumb, please never share your medication with anyone. Never. Even if they say, well, I'm on the same medication, you never know if their dosage is higher or lower. And you don't want to potentially put yourself in a legal situation where you done killed the next door neighbor because you done gave him a little half of your Xanax, when your Xanax is supposed to be fully for your mental illness. So refill medication the first chance you get to reduce the possible stress of running out and not being able to fill it at a certain time and date. Make sure you stay in constant communication with your medical provider or your physician who issues you your medication. Create a routine or keep routines that you already have to make you feel good, and try to alter the ones you can. Find an accountability and support buddy. Listen, you find that one or two good people that you trust, you tell them, hey, I need you to check in with me every 3 weeks and just ask me, how's my dosage? You realize it makes a big difference. My accountability partners, when I was on medication, I used to tell my best friends, put it in your phone. My best friend used to have an alarm in her phone, and every 3 weeks it would bring her, call April medication. She would call me, hey girl, what's up? We still going shopping? Yeah, but you also need to see how are you doing on your medication. Oh shoot, you know what? CVS called and said it was ready. Thank you for reminding me. Accountability, right? Support buddy. Understand there are two different types of people in your life. There are the people who support you, and there are the people who will help you. The people that will support you will make sure you have a means of getting to everything that you can. They will provide you with resources. They will provide you with numbers. They will provide you with other people that could link you and that could help you. That is what is called support. They will pray for you. They will send up a word for you. That is support. The people that would help you will wire you the $20, get up, get in the car, come pick you up, take you to go get your medication. Those are the people that are action-based. Help is action-based. Support is mental-based. Is that even a word? We're going to make it one today. Support is mental-based. Help is action-based. Understand what you are requiring of people when you're speaking to them. Hey, Melissa, I need you to help me go to the grocery store and pick up these groceries. Versus, hey, Elizabeth, I just need your support and your thoughts in my new venture this week. Keep me in your prayers and your thoughts. Support, help, right? All right. With COVID-19, we understand that the holidays are often stressful and depressing, and the time for people demand has increased. For people, they must shop, cook, entertain, host guests, family, or the opposite. They can't be with friends or family during the holidays, especially with the current pandemic, bringing feelings to isolation or depression. My mother turned, I hope she don't get on me. Well, I ain't gonna say her age, but we just gonna see who's good in math. My mother was born in 1960. So last year, she was born in 1960. So last year, 60. I didn't tell your age, Mom. I was just telling them the year you was born. Um, but we had to cancel her birthday party because of the pandemic. And it hurt my feelings because my mom hadn't had a birthday since she was 1 year old. And so I was just devastated that we didn't get to celebrate the wonderful year of 1960, because that was probably a good year, for those who were born in 1960, right? Last year was special for them because they were born in 1960. So I'm saying, with all the holidays and things that are coming up in that past, a lot of people were not able to connect like they usually do. Some people's only opportunity to see family and spend that time were during the holidays. And when that abruptly came to a stop, it put people in a frenzy, in a panic mode, in a depressed state, in an isolated state, in a lonely state. Here are some healthy tips to prevent holiday stress and depression. Acknowledge your feelings. It's okay to say I'm not okay. When your family calls you and they say, hey, Elizabeth, how you feeling today? Oh, girl, I'm fine. I'm not okay. I need somebody to read a book with me online. Or, hey, I need you to tune in on this Zoom and we're going to watch this movie together. Right? Reach out. Hey, Melissa, I'm just calling to see how you doing, girl. I ain't heard from you in 3 hours. So I just wanted to make sure in 3 hours ain't nothing popped off. So I'm just checking in. Don't abandon healthy habits. Since the pandemic, everybody abandoned their healthy habits. Ain't nobody going to California Fish Grill. Everybody at home eating chili cheese dogs with fries with extra cheese and chili on it. And you're going to add some sour cream and extra onions on it. And you're not drinking a little bitty soda, 24 ounce or whatever the size of the sodas. You're going to drink a half gallon or a half a liter, excuse me. I hope ain't nobody drinking no gallon of soda, my goodness. Take a breather. We talked about that in the earlier slide. Sit down somewhere. Sit your butt down somewhere. Breather. We ain't got nothing but time on our side right now. You'll be there tomorrow. Learn to say no. I'm going to say that again, and I'm going to say it in the camera for some who maybe need to read my lips. Learn to say no. Everybody practice it. No. You can even say it in different octaves. No. No. Say it better. No. Right? However you feel you need to say it to get the point across. No. No. Right? Stick to a budget. Everybody know how much money they make, and you know how much money you don't make. Even though you might have got a little extra change from the government, that's exactly what it is, change. I digress. Save, budget. Continue to live within your means like you didn't have that little extra change, okay? And I'm not going to say change, I'm going to say change, because that's what it felt like when they gave us that little change, okay? Stick to a budget. Live within your means. If you could only afford bologna sandwiches and top ramen before the pandemic, guess what? They got chicken, beef, picante. They got creamy chicken, spicy beef shrimp. They got all kinds. Go ahead and splurge a little bit. Go ahead and get you the shrimp this time. The last time you just got the beef and the chicken, get you the shrimp, you're going to pop it off, right? Don't get the what is the brand at Walmart? Great value Cheetos. Go ahead and upgrade. Get you some Fritos. Get you some Chester Cheetos, right? Them 86 cents, you splurge it. But don't be going to Costco trying to get all the oxtails in the salmon. You don't even know how to say, you saying salmon. What you eating today, girl? I'm eating some salmon. Digress. Common self-care methods and tips. Reach out to family and friends with COVID-19. People are feeling extremely isolated. Stay connected. You see that iPhone right there on that screen? That would actually look better than mine, so I may need to use a more realistic type of phone. But schedule Zoom calls with your friends and family. Family on a schedule reasonable to you. Schedule FaceTime calls too. Me and my sister, we schedule FaceTime calls with each other so we make sure we can actually physically see each other. Because sometimes what people don't speak out of their mouth, you can see it in their face. My sister's like, yeah, I'm okay. And if I don't see her, she could be snot nose crying, but on the phone, she's telling me she's okay, and she's sucking it in, hitting mute in between our conversation. No, I need to look at you. I need to see that pretty face, tears and all. And if it's tears, we're going to work through it because that's what I'm here for, right? Share what's on your mind. Honestly, try to be direct about what you need and listen to others. This COVID pandemic has caused me to be more of an attentive listener than I've ever been in my career, in my life. Intentional listening makes a difference because you may hear something that you've heard before, but it hits a little different when you take the time to actually process what they're saying. Relaxation training. Methodologically, tensing and relaxing certain muscle groups can help you voluntarily relax when anxiety is running high. Methodologically, I hate that word. Let me tell you something. I am an educated Black woman, and that word, I don't know if my tongue is just fat or what it is, but I always struggle. It's certain words I'll be like, right? But I don't know. But y'all can read, right? It's there. Y'all can read. But anyways, let me break it down what it means for those who don't know what it means. Tensing, and relaxing certain muscle groups can help voluntarily relax when anxiety is running high. Did you know that when your anxiety is running high, one simple thing that you can do to help yourself relax is simply raise your arms. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. The reason you raise your arms is because most people that work 9 to 5, when we sit long capacities, our tension rests in the back of our neck on into our shoulder blades, right? So when you raise your arms, you actually are giving those muscles an opportunity to relax and feel loose. Even though it feels like your arm is going up, this is relaxed. When you're down, you have the tendency to tense up, slouch. Everybody's posture is bad. None of us sit upright. We technically should be sitting like this, and when we're speaking, but most of us slouch, relax our shoulders, bring them in because we're at a relaxed state of mind. Most of you who work 9 to 5 who sit in office spaces, please let your supervisors know you need ergonomical chairs and you need the things that are going to support your posture if you sit for longer than 4 hours at a time. If you sit longer than 4 hours at a time, try to schedule a 15-minute stand-up break where you're just going to stand up. Stand up. I tell some people rock side to side so you release some of the pressure off the ball of your foot from there, and then you're allowing yourself to kind of rebalance. Now, if you start to get dizzy from rocking side to side, delete this video and I didn't say it. Exercise and eat healthy. Get up, move for at least 30 minutes a day. I don't know how far the mailbox is from your house, but if you got to check the mail 10 times, check the mail 10 times so you feel better about your life. And you can say, look, I don't walk to the mailbox 10 times. That is considered walking. Time it. Let it be 30 minutes. You got animals, go ahead and let those animals get some fresh air. Take them out for a walk. They want to get out too. They sick of looking at y'all too. I don't know how long Chester, what are other dog names? Brutus, Rufus, Rex, sick of looking at y'all too. They want to get out the house too. Take them for a walk. Let them run around and stretch their little dog or cat. Well, I don't know if you could walk cats. Let the cat maybe sit in the window pane a little longer. I'm gonna do my research on cats. Don't really know about cats, but
Yes, you can walk them.
okay, so you can walk cat. Well, walk the cat. Walk little Fluffy. She want to get out too. You know, eating healthy. Avoid drugs and alcohol. Avoid recreational drugs. Please don't avoid your proper medication. We don't want you to avoid that because I don't want to be in the room talking with you and talking to 3 other people that I can't see, but you can see them. Because that'll put me a little at unease. And I'm going to say, hey, what they saying about me? Should I get up and walk out right now? So make sure you're taking your proper medication, but please avoid recreational drugs that may throw those prescribed medications off. Please avoid alcohol that may endanger your medication dosage, as you say. Now, here's the thing about alcohol. It's a lot of adults. Be, responsible. You want a little glass of wine, to each his own. Pray over it and call it communion. I don't know what you got to do, but it's okay. It's in moderation. Let's not get all drastic. It's a bottle of wine. Sip a little, put a little back in the refrigerator. Maybe the next 3 days, sip a little bit more. Don't go through 3 bottles and say, well, it was only wine. Because I'm going to tell the officer, They didn't watch my video because I said sip. Try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Now, that is hard for people. Typically, the body can run off of 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours of sleep, but it is a fact that humans do better with between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. Why? Because in that 7 to 9 hours sleep, our brain hits what is called the REM stage. The REM stage is where our body is at its full resting rate, and that is how babies grow, kids grow. That is how some of our elders suddenly remember that, you know, you owe them $60 and no worries, auntie, I'm gonna pay you back your $60. That is how some kids are able to heal when they fell off that bike the day before. So 7 to 9 hours of sleep is suggested to hit that REM stage. But if you cannot get that, at least get 4. If you know that you cannot sleep, you won't get at least 4 hours of sleep. It is suggested to ride the wave, ride it on through until you get an opportunity. If you work in an environment or you do something that will endanger the life of others because of lack of sleep, you may have to go ahead and use that PTO, or you may have to go ahead and call out and just get that bad attendance marking, because I would rather you be home and get the adequate rest you need than to go to a place or an environment where you could possibly endanger yourself or the lives of others, especially getting behind the wheel of a car. I don't know if you guys have ever seen people who fall asleep at the wheel. Those are some of the most brutal accidents that you know, because they're actually not aware where they're going in control until they're dead or until someone else is dead. Take breaks from watching TV, reading, listening to the news. It can be highly triggering. That's a whole nother slide, whole nother time. Take a break. Instead, take time to read a book, listen to a podcast you enjoy. These are the things that can give something back to you. When you read, you feed your brain knowledge that you never had, right? I was reading this medical book and I know what a patellum is. I know what a clavicle is. I said, let me go back to school and get this doggone medical degree with the clavicle patellum in the, you know, I said, look at me, right? You feed your brain, right? Also take intentional breaks from social media. Sometimes you just gotta log off, or sometimes you just gotta be like, I'm not checking nothing today. When we are so consumed with so many people who have so many opinions in the world, we can overload ourselves with unnecessary drama and nonsense, and it will cause us to be at a more disadvantage than we already are. Give yourself a break. That same man gonna be sis. That same man gonna be in them DMs tomorrow. See him tomorrow, brother. That same beautiful woman gonna be in them DMs tomorrow. So give yourself a break. Spiritual wellness, learning to clear your mind through meditation can help alleviate anxiety and stay present. Want to stay grounded, non-judgmentally evaluating your thoughts as they come into your mind. Be mindful, pray, reflect. Whatever you need that connects you to your spiritual realm, utilize it. If it's meditation, if it's prayer, if it's, you know, I don't know. Whatever you use. Some people sage, some people do all kind of stuff. Whatever you feel is necessary that's going to ground you and bring you a little bit of peace, then you do that. Know your boundaries, respect them, and have others respect them. I'm going to say it again. Know your boundaries, respect them, and have others respect them. You are the best person to discuss you with. You are the best person to teach other people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. Okay? You are allowed to say no. We revisit that word again. No, 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 no. Such a beautiful word. I just believe more people should learn it. No, no, right? Listen, y'all, that's all, folks. Any questions, feedback? Yes, I took my meds today, so I'm in my right mind. No, I'm joking. I'm not medicated, but I did have a little bit of gummy bears this morning. I'm not gonna lie. I need a little bit of sugar to boost me up this morning, so I ate some Haribo's gummy bears. I hope my trainer not watching this video. That was just a test to see if everybody was listening. But any questions?
We don't have any questions. I want to say that this has been a great presentation. I've got some tips on mental health. I've got tips on saving candles. I'm going to
listen. I'm gonna send you that link, girl. It's gonna change your life. It's gonna change your life.
Richard
I done put him in the office.
Richard said TLC is very important.
Yes.
And I said this is life-changing. A lot of those self-care tips. Richard also said truly open heart and kind. Elizabeth would like to know if you would be her best friend. This is great. And Richard said yes, we are BFF.
Thank you, Richard. No, listen, guys, I love what I do. I truly believe in speaking life into people. I never state my credentials. A lot of people be like, well, you need to state your credentials. No, I don't. I'm human. I'm a person. I don't get hung up in titles. I don't get hung up in all of those things. I'm April, you're Melissa, you're Elizabeth, you're Carmela, Clyde on here too, and whoever else I can't see, I'm sorry because I'm on the Zoom, but all of us are addressed by our names. There you go, right? I believe that we show people who we are by how we show up in the world. When I was born, I was not born April V. Laster, Master Certified Life Coach, Communication Specialist, Mental Health. But I was just born April V. Laster, right? That's what my mama named me. And what equipped me with my personality is the life experiences that I acquired through life. And that's what helps me show up in the world who I am today. So before I became all those things and all those titles and all those little pieces of paper that cost, I digress, thousands of dollars that's sitting up in Nabby, and they're going to keep ringing your phone till you pay them back their little money for that piece of, I'm going to send them that piece of paper back. I done already figured out how to do it. I'm going to just send it back and I'm going to tell them, redact my name out your system because you got your paper back. That's what I paid for. Because they didn't, my mind belongs to me. They didn't give me this. So I'm gonna give you back your little $120,000 piece of paper. And you tell me what you want to do with it. And that's how I'm gonna do that. But no, really, I think that we gotta break the stigma around mental health. It's not all, bipolar and schizophrenic and manic depressant and suicide and danger. And sometimes it's simply I just need somebody to listen. Sometimes it's I need clarity and how to navigate through life. Sometimes it's I don't really understand why I cry all the time or why I feel low only in the morning, because there is a thing called seasonal depression. There's a thing where some people actually get more depressed in the summer or the winter, depending on from there. I personally, transparent moment, I struggle with seasonal depression. I don't do well in the winter months. The winters are very gloomy for me and they bring me down. So I have to intentionally set up scenarios and situations for me to not go into that damper. So that's where my siblings come into place. We do more calling. That's during the winter is where I take more of my actual trips. I go visit more family, go visit my best friends, go back, visit college friends during those seasons, because I understand if I sit at home long enough from there, I'm going to think of everything possible that doesn't work for my life. And then I'm going to be sad. Then I'm going to cancel my clients because it's like, well, fine, okay, I can't talk to somebody else to be okay. Then I'm going to be broke. Then they're going to shut down my business. And then now, because I didn't take care of April's mental health and self-care, I have potentially threw a monkey wrench in other people's success to their mental health. So I have to be mindful, and I understand, and I absolutely honor I say this again, I absolutely honor my position in life that God has given me. And in honoring that, I have to take care of myself from every aspect. So those 5 things, my mental, my physical, my emotional, my spiritual, my financial, I have to keep those balanced and well-rounded so that I'm able to be an effective game changer. All of us should be effective game changers. The moment that we are not effective game changers, then the game then changed on us. And when the game changes on us, that we're no longer an effective game changer, then we're not an active player in the game. And then guess what happens to people who are not active players in the game? They become idle players, and eventually they're put back in a box. Keep me on the board. I'm going to go past go, and I'm going to collect my little $1,400, my little change, okay? My little change. And I'm going to keep it pushing, right? So that's just what I'm going to do. So that's, that's what it is. I really hope you guys enjoyed my presentation. I'm very eclectic and unorthodox. Like, I'm not your typical, and today in mental health, Melissa, we want to just, that's not me. Anybody who's ever a client of mine, they would tell you I'm very straightforward, to the point, blunt. I'm going to keep it real with you. But people confuse blunt and keeping it real with meaning you got to be mean and nasty. You don't have to be that. You can be very direct, blunt, and to the point without being rude, nasty, and hurtful. So if I'm blunt, direct, and it comes across as I'm being aggressive or rude, then we're going to tap into that root cause to figure out why you're so triggered and offended by accountability and truth. Typically, that's somebody running away from something they know they need to address. Accountability is not the enemy. It is your best friend. Keeps you grounded, and it keeps you aware of who you need to be to build character and to sustain a good quality of life that you, your children, your neighbors, the dog, and even little Fluffy could be proud of. That's what it is.
I just wanted to thank you again. You all, let's give a COVID clap for April. That was amazing.
Yay. Give it for you guys too. You guys sat here listening to me rant and ramble about my passion for this little time frame. And no, I'm appreciative that, and I'm honored that you guys allowed me to speak into your life this morning. It is always an honor when you get to share your passion with the world at a capacity you enjoy. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy who I am, and I enjoy working with the people that I work with.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone who joined us a little bit later on.
You know what? There we go. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I did add in the link to Open Heart Leaders Facebook page. April has put up her contact information as well. The website for Open Heart Leaders is also in our chat.
It's being revamped.
Oh, okay.
So please bear with us. The website is being revamped because we have to add all the new little stuff that's going on. And I am giving my interns the opportunity, some of my marketing and communications interns, the opportunity to be able to practice in their skill set for their grade in school. And so, like I tell them, I'm very patient. I'm not on anybody else's time. So if you go to the website, you see something out of place or there, just the phone number still works. We still present. Just call us.
All right. So you all be sure to connect with Open Heart Leaders on their Facebook and their website. If you have missed any portion of this webinar, feel free to visit our website. I've put, and for some reason it didn't hyperlink, so I'll do this again. Okay. Well, it still didn't hyperlink, but you can get to our Facebook page from the chat. And from there, you can also go over to our website resources page. You'll get the replay, you'll get the slides. You will have access to everything that you missed today. And you'll also know what we have coming up next week. We're back again at 10 a.m. And we thank everyone who is here with us. Thank you all for joining us today, and we will see you all next Wednesday. Thank you,
Yes.
April.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
April.
You guys have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Bye-bye.